Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So today we are going to discuss about the test design technique, test management. Okay, especially test management is important for you because you are a senior person, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so for your level, test management is important. And what are the tool support for testing? Okay, and then we are going to discuss about the exercise open house. So exercise we have already discussed in the last class, right? How to write the test cases and Excel sheet. Correct? Okay. So now let's discuss about the test design technique. So do you have any idea about what is test design?
No.
Techniques. See, basically test design is what act of creating and writing test suites for testing a software. Like we have already completed the practical in the last class. Oh, you have written some of the test case, right?
Yes.
For which, what was the login functionality or what is the pen?
Login functionality only.
Login functionality, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so login. So that is, so in that particular test case, we have a couple of basically in that particular sheet, we have couple of test case, right? More than one, right?
Yes.
That is known as test suite.
Okay.
Okay, so that Excel sheet you can refer as a test suites for login functionality. Okay, if it is only one test case, then we can say that it is a test case. More than one test case, it means what? Test suites.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so basically test design is what act of creating and writing test suites for testing a software. So in the last class we are testing the login functionality for XYZ application, right? So we have created the test case, right, for the login functionality. Got it? So how so act of creating means what? You should, as a tester, you should think positive and negative both the scenario. Okay, so we have already written positive and negative scenario, correct?
Yes.
With invalid. Positive scenario is what? With valid data. Negative scenario is what? Invalid, with invalid data. Invalid data. Okay.
Okay.
Just a second. Yeah. Second is what? Test analysis and identifying test conditions. Okay. Gives us fair idea of needed test coverage. So see, we have from the one functionality, that is login functionality, right? We have designed the couple of test cases, right?
Yes.
So login functionality to verify and validate the login functionality of XYZ application. This is the test scenario. Based on the condition of the test scenario, condition of the functionality, we have derived couple of test case, 5 or 6 or 7, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that is what test analysis and identifying the test condition. So we have identified the test condition with valid data, with invalid data, with blank data, right? All the combinations. That is known as test condition. Now clear?
Okay.
Basically, test condition is what? User, user action. User may use in this way, that way, whatever may be the possible way. You can term as probability. Okay, these are the probability, right? These are the options and user have. Now got it? Clear?
Okay. Okay.
Good. Now we are going to discuss about test analysis. So process of looking at something that can be used to derive test information. Okay, so basis for the test is called a test basis. Okay, basis of the test is called a test basis. Okay, got it?
Okay.
Test
Okay.
basis help analyze what could be tested, and these are the test conditions. So basically, whenever we will get any applications, any functionality, correct, from XYZ application, you have written the test case for login functionality, right? So first we need to check what need to be tested as per the requirement, correct? If we are doing some enhancement, correct, in the
Yes.
existing project, then we are going to check the newly added functionality, and also we are going to test what will be the, is there any dependencies with the other module. So we
Hmm.
also going to do the regression, correct? Because why we are going to do the regression? To check the impact of the new change in the application. Clear?
Okay.
That is known as impact analysis. Okay,
Okay.
so the test condition that are
Okay.
chosen will depend on the test strategy. What kind of you have a strategy in test? Whenever we are going to design the test strategy, we have the couple of things we have to keep in mind. First one is risk. Okay, suppose you have a very big project you have taken, correct? So risk may be in different, there's so many types of risk. First one is what? Whatever the time you are going to commit, it should be completed in that, right? Suppose you have taken the
Okay.
time for testing for, for any application for 1 month, but in the one
Hmm.
month, so, and you have added only, suppose, 2 resource. So 2 resource, there one resource is going to work in one day 8 hours, right?
Yes.
But in 1 month, officially how many working days? 22, right? Maximum.
Yes. Yeah.
Or 21 we can consider, because one day is a holiday, right?
Yes.
So 21 days, 21 into 8 into 2, 16 hours, right? So 21 into 16 hours, how many hours?
21 into 16 is 336.
So you have a 336, correct,
Yes.
hour to complete the project. You have a 2 tester, so right,
Okay.
in your currently in your project. Then one more thing, in the 1 month, the risk is what? Maybe your, what maybe in the resource, they may left, right?
Hmm.
The organization, as
Yes.
a project manager, as a test manager, you should think this also. Okay,
Okay.
maybe the one tester maybe get illness and anything, right? It may happen due to any circumstances. Right now it is a pandemic, but if it is not a pandemic also, we don't know, maybe they are going to take 2-3 days leave, right, due to fever, anything will happen, correct?
Yes.
So those kind of risk also we have to include whenever we are going to design the test strategy for any project. Getting?
Hmm.
Maximum
Okay.
test manager and project manager used to forget these kind of risk in their project. Due to that reason, okay, they are going to fail to deliver their deliverable on time. So whenever,
Okay.
if you are going to, if the work is 136 or 120 or 100 hours, you should include all the risk factors, probable risk factor, okay, probability of that, at least one day leave for each and every person. Okay, minimum 2 days you can mention. Okay, risk factor as a risk factor, and you can estimate the time like that. In the test strategy, you
Okay.
are not going to mention that, okay, this resource is going to take 1 day leave. No, you can increase the hours only. If actually, if the any project we are able to test in
Oh,
100 hours, you should estimate as 120 hours. Getting my point?
okay.
Okay,
Okay. Got it. So you have what you're saying is you just we should have additional buffer buffer hours
exactly,
extra
every
some
time we
one or
should
two
have a
days.
buffer. Yes. And also one in 136 also there must be a, if you're going to execute, you are going to write the test case, and also there are so many meetings will be also there, right?
Yeah, yes, correct.
Correct. So all these steps we have to consider in test strategy. And also modules of the system means what, how many modules will be impacted. Okay. Likely failures means what could be the failure, what could be the fail will happen, like failure
Okay.
will happen if we are going to do the regression. Compliance requirements, what are the policies we have to follow, correct?
Yes.
Expert advice also we have to take. Okay,
Okay.
clear? So these are what risk factors. Now we are going to discuss about the dynamic testing. Dynamic testing is what also known as validation testing. Okay, so basically require that the code be compiled and run. Exactly when we are able to perform the dynamic testing, when the our product will be available, correct?
Yes.
Verification we can do on document, correct?
Yes.
We can start verification testing or static testing as soon as possible, but dynamic testing only we are able to do once our build or project will be available for test. Clear?
Okay.
So basically it involves working with the software inputs, values are given, output values are checked with the expected output. Okay, so basically we are going to input into the system and we are checking the result, like
Okay.
black box testing, correct? Hope you
Yes.
remember 2 plus
Yeah.
2 I'm already given, correct? So in
Yes.
dynamic testing, actually we are inputting the value into the system, and based on the input we are verifying the output. Clear?
Okay. Okay.
Now we are going to discuss about the equivalence partitioning. Okay, although we have discussed, let me explain you once again. Okay, so it is also black box dynamic testing technique. It is going to input domain data is divided into different equivalence data classes. I told you, right? Natural numbers, prime numbers. We are going to take one or two values, right? Hope you
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so similarly let us take an example. Application is accepting input range from 1 to 100. Okay, one is for valid input, that is any value from 1 to 100 I can test, right? I'm not going to test 1 2 3 each and every wall. 100 inputs I'm not going to do. I'm going to take only one value. Other possible test case is what, one is for invalid data lower than the limit, like one any value below one, that is -1 we can take, right?
Yes.
And one is for invalid upper 101 or 105 or 110, anything we can take. So these are the three kinds of test case we can write for this particular application, correct?
Okay.
Only thing is what, here the test data are very important. Okay, so first you need to specify the test data. Okay, and in the test case also you have to mention which data, with which data you have tested. Okay, and for which data you are going to test this application, either above 100, that is you have already written, but what is above 100 means what, whether you are going to take 500 or 110, like that. Okay,
Okay.
but you should not take 101,
Okay.
because that we will use in BVA, boundary value analysis, right? I told
Okay.
you
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly on the boundary, one less than the boundary, one greater than the boundary.
Okay.
Now boundary value analysis, right? So you see, same application is accepting input range from 1 to 100. So we are going to design another test case for exact boundary, means 1 and 100. Okay, one test case for just below boundary value, means what, 99, correct?
Yes.
Uh, got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one test case for just above boundary, 2 or 101. Clear?
Okay. Now,
Clear?
where they will this boundary value analysis will come? Where they will do this one
Same
exact?
application. Suppose you
Okay.
got an application is accepting input range 1 to 100. So in equivalence partitioning, same application here. Okay, we have to apply in this application, we have to apply equivalence partitioning also, boundary value analysis also. Same application, but these are the
Okay.
different test case. It is
Okay.
taking the value in test data, is it is taking from 1 to 100 any value. 115 also they can take. Here any value below 1, -2, -3, -5, any one value we can take. And any value above 100 means what? Any value we can take, like 105 and all, and one value from 1 to 100, 99, 98, like that. Clear?
Okay. Okay.
And in the same application, we are going to check exactly on the boundary. So 1 and 100 are, because application is accepting input range 1 to 100, right? So 1 is also a boundary and 100 is also a boundary, right?
Yes.
So 1 exactly. So as I told you, right, in boundary value analysis, we are going to check the exactly on the boundary, 1 less than the boundary, 1 greater than the boundary. See, exactly on the boundary 1, there are two boundaries are here, 1 and 100, right?
Yeah.
So 1 exactly on the boundary, 0 is what? 1 less than the boundary, right?
Yes.
And 1 greater than the boundary, 1 plus 1, 2, right? Clear?
Yes. Yes.
In the similar way, if we are going to check, if you are going to consider this 100 as a boundary, then exactly on the boundary 100,
Okay.
correct?
Okay.
1 less than the boundary 99, and 1 greater than the boundary 101. So this application have two boundaries. One is what? 1, and another is what? 100.
Okay. In this case, like for example, like you have a text field, it will accept 100 text field number type. So if it is have a like 100 characters must be in that case we are testing
Yes.
purpose. Okay.
Yes. But in that only the range will be defined. This is basically the input range for calculation purpose. Or some application they have designed only for a 1 to 100.
Hmm. What
Okay.
about text field and all? How they will calculate this in this case?
So they
Suppose.
have some specific criteria, like they can maximum length is 8 digit, like password, right?
Hmm.
Password is a text. So
Hmm.
password length should be 8 digit. So what we
Hmm.
are going to test? One less than the boundary means what? 7.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
see,
One
password
to
range
one
should
to one to one to 1 to 8, and another one is
no,
0 to 7.
there is no 1 to 8, no 0, it will not come. Try to
Uh-huh.
understand the requirement. It should be 8 digit. If they are going to giving the notification that either 8 to 12, between 8 to 12, then we have a two boundary. If they are
Hmm.
saying only 8 digit, then we have only one boundary.
Uh-huh.
Some of the password field you can see that minimum 8 digit, maximum 12 digit, correct?
Okay.
So
Okay.
in this case we have a two boundary.
Hmm.
Okay, and maximum we can see that it should be minimum 8 digit. It means what? They have not defined the two
Okay. Got
boundary,
it.
they have defined only one boundary.
Okay.
See, whenever we are going to talk about the range, it range word will come, then you can see that, you can understand that there must be a more than one boundary, two
Okay.
boundary. If range word is not, like see, application is accepting input for password 8 digit. They are not giving in 12 8 to 10, the 8 to 12 digit. Here it is what? Input range from 1 to 100. If they
Hmm.
are going to mention password input range is 8 to 12 digit, then it
Okay.
is a two boundary. And if
Okay.
they are going to mention in the line, in password length is 8 digit, so
Okay.
we have only one.
Okay.
Now clear?
Yeah.
These are the very important equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis. These are very important stuff. Clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Next is use case testing. Okay, So use case testing. See, you can see that insert first step is what we are going to, main scenario is what, actor system. Okay, so this is a description. Okay, let me use case testing. Okay, so basically what are the steps whenever we are going to do any operations in ATM? First we are going to insert the card, right? Then we are going to validate card and ask for pin. We are going to enter the pin. Then we are going to validate the system is going to validate the pin, and then they are going to, if the pin is correct, then they are going to allow access, right?
Yes.
See, in main scenario is what, one A is a actor and B is a system, or S is a system. So
Mm.
first A actor is going to insert the card, then system is going to validate the card and is going to ask
Pin.
for pin. Then
Pin.
again actor, okay, is going to enter the pin. Again system is going to validate the pin. Again
Mm.
system. Then only if pin is correct, then system is going to allow access to the account. Now,
Okay.
maybe second scenario it may happen if the card not valid. Say actor, if suppose I'm using some temper card or some expire card, it may happen, right?
Yes.
Expired card. So
Yes.
display message and reject card, pin not valid. Maybe by mistake I have entered wrong pin, right?
Okay.
And if I'm going
Yes.
to entered in pin invalid 3 times, then they are going to block, right? Correct.
Yeah.
So these are the use case. Use case means what are the possible steps actor and system can perform.
Okay.
It is a totally scenario based. Now clear?
Yeah.
Testing.
Yeah.
This is
Clear.
also a kind of black box testing only.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Now we are going to discuss about the experience based testing. See, experience of both technical and business people is required, as they bring different perspective to the test analysis and design process. Used for low risk system, but this approach may be particularly useful under extreme time pressure. In fact, this is one of the factor leading to the exploratory testing. So basically, see, try to understand who is going to do the experience based testing. Suppose you are a domain expert. Okay, you have a very good domain knowledge of this particular application, any application XYZ. Hello.
Yeah, I am listening.
Yeah. So currently you are working in infrastructure side, right? You
Yeah.
are designing the infrastructure for AWS, Azure and all, right? Cloud based
Yes.
infrastructure. So you, after so many years of experience, you must be getting, okay, if you are going to design in this type of infrastructure, it may after 1 month or 2 months these kind of failure may comes, and how to resolve that also you are knowing, right?
Yes.
What kind of fault will occur in the future you must be knowing, right? Sometimes
Yes.
you can predict.
Yes.
In the same way, the person who is working in the project from very long time, okay, very long time, then it is what, then that
Mhm.
person must have very good knowledge about the project.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Tell me, is it correct or
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. He must be knowing the in and out of the project, whatever thing.
Exactly, in and out of the project. So it means what?
Mhm. It's like experience-based testing. Experienced.
Yes. So it means what? The person who have a very good domain knowledge, the person who have a very good experience on a specific project, they can predict the future failure. Correct?
Yes.
So that is, so if you have a very less time to test the application, okay, and because suppose today evening you got the project build from developer, and tomorrow you are going to release, then who will test? You are not going to put any freshers tester, right? You're
No,
going
no.
to take some domain expertise or business people who is that guys are going to do the UAT or any kind of test, experience based testing, and then they are going to release, because they know that in which module fault may occur. So they are going to test only those scenario, because
Okay.
you don't have time to test each and everything, right?
Yes.
So when we are going to apply the experience based testing, when we have a time constraint. Clear?
Okay.
Who will do? Experienced people, domain expert, business people. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to discuss about the test management. See, test ladder. Estimate the testing to be done. Okay. Lead, guide, and monitor the analysis, design, implementation, and execution of the test cases, test procedures, and test suits. It is going to, so basically it is a role of when we are going to do the test management. Who is going to do? Either test lead or test manager, correct?
Okay.
So a test manager and test lead is going to do the estimate the testing to be done. He
Okay.
is or she is going to lead and guide the entire project. Okay,
Hmm.
how to, he is going to plan for the test case design, he's going to plan for test case design, he's going to plan for execution, he's going to plan for procedures, and he is going to approve the test suits. Clear?
Okay.
So it is going, he is going to ensure proper configuration management of the test were produced and traceability of the test case to the test basis. Okay,
Hmm.
issues prioritizations and resolution facilitation. Suppose you are a fresher, okay, in testing. Okay, let me just give you a simple example. So you might not be able to understand which defect is P1 defect and which one is P4 defect, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. So at that time, to whom you need to connect? Your test lead, your test manager.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is what also they are going to, they whatever maybe the issue is coming, based on the test lead input, we are going to, if we are going to set the priority. Clear?
Okay.
If you are a manager, right, in any project, they are going to contact you based on the impact. You can select the P1, P2, P3, P4, whatever may be.
Okay.
Identify unit test coverage and ensure any gaps are documented and addressed. Provide formal sign off on all testing deliverables and events. Clear?
Okay.
Reviewing and assuming requirements. Okay, assessing requirements. Execute and log the test, evaluate the results, and document problems found. Any kind of document, I told you, right? There might
Yes.
be a requirement is unclear requirement, right? Missing
Yes.
requirement, right?
Yeah.
Maybe client have predict some, you know unfortunate, or maybe client have predict maybe it is possible with this particular application or with this particular technology, right?
Yeah.
Okay, set up and monitor test beds, like test environment, review test specification, defect reports, and test results. Clear?
Okay.
Test plan versus test strategy. See, test plan is a dynamic document. Test strategy is a static document. Okay, delivered
Okay.
from function requirement document or use cases. Okay,
Okay.
so first of all, see, whenever we are going to plan any test strategy, it is what? A static document means what?
It never
We
changed.
cannot change. Yes, exactly. Once we have already selected tool like Selenium tool for automation, so after
Hmm.
automating 50 or 60 scenario, we cannot change, right?
Hmm.
We cannot change the tool uh, because the cost will be very high, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, so like if we have adopted a Azure DevOps test plan for writing the test case,
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
In mid of that, we cannot switch to some other tool like HPLM or some TFS and all, right?
Yes.
Okay, so test plan, that is the difference between test strategy and test plan. Okay.
Okay.
Estimation technique, how you are going to estimate. Estimation is a process of predicting the most realistic use of effort required to develop or maintain software.
Can you go back one more thing, that previous slide? What is the subset of here? The subset of test strategy is saying here also superset. Okay, superset of test.
See,
Plan.
subset means what?
This is
In a
a
test strategy itself, test plan contains.
okay.
Like in cloud, in Azure cloud, I told you, right? Inside the resource, we are inside the resource group, we are creating the resource, right?
Yes.
So inside the test strategy, okay, we are creating test plan. Clear?
Okay. Okay. Inside the test strategy.
Superset means what? Inside the test strategy is what? Superset, right? Inside
Yeah.
that test plan will be there. That is
No,
subset.
outside superset means outside. No, subset means under the subset of test strategy. So under the test strategy, plan will come. Correct? No.
Yes.
Okay. But terminology is something confusing. That's a superset, subset. Okay. If you see
Clear?
in the no subset of test strategy. Okay. Under test strategy is the top. Under that test plan will come. Correct? No.
Yes, yes. See, resource group and resource, right? The resource,
Mhm.
just think like that resource group is a test strategy.
Okay.
Okay. And resource is a test plan.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I think it is clear, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Clear.
Inside test strategy, test plan will be there.
Okay.
That the subset is what? Subset is what? Smaller than superset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So superset of test plan means what? This is a test plan and this is a test strategy. Test strategy is a superset of test plan. It means what? Inside the test strategy, test plan is there.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Now we are going to discuss about the estimation. So estimation is a process of predicting the most realistic use of effort required to develop or maintain software. Estimation is what? How much time it will take, right? How many resources required for maintaining, developing, or testing the project, right?
Yeah.
Now, so estimation is also one of the important point for especially the person who is looking for project manager role and all. It is a very important point. Okay. So
Okay.
you need to understand and also you need to take all the risk factors. Okay.
Okay.
Techniques used to calculate the time required to accomplish a particular task is estimation technique. Okay. Various estimation techniques are what? Function point analysis, work breakdown structure, and Delphi technique. So these are the estimation techniques. Okay.
Okay. Mostly work breakdown only they use it, no? In the
Maximum work breakdown structure only they are using.
yeah. Yeah. That's why because
Maximum
I
use.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Delphi, sometimes some of the organization like Deolite and all, okay, they are using, but only for few project
Mm.
because they are working for some client. That is the reason.
Okay.
Okay, let's discuss about the function point analysis. See, estimates can be can be by one who understands the system from the functional perspective. Okay, analysis of functional user requirements of the software with following category, that is output, inquiries, inputs, internal files, external files, based on that. Okay, so who is going to do this functional point analysis? Domain expert. Like suppose you are working in banking domain, the person who have a very good understanding of banking application, they are going to do the functional point analysis. Clear?
Okay. 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 Okay.
Now we are going to do, we are going to discuss about the work breakdown structure. Basically, it involves breaking requirements down into individual component in a hierarchical structure. So nowadays you must be heard about the one development process, that is microservice development, right?
Yes, correct.
Micro. So that is what basically, that is a we can say that subset of work breakdown structure.
Okay.
Okay, so it is going to provide traceability of task completion, and it is going to estimation happens at most granular level. Okay,
Okay.
now we are going to discuss about the Delphi technique, based on surveys and basically collects the information from experts. So basically Delphi technique is what? Feedback technique,
Okay.
in a simple way. Feedback.
Okay.
After monitoring the applications, okay, what kind of, suppose you want to launch any product in the market, right? So first, what will be the your basic first, what will be your first technique according to the according to the Delphi technique? You are going to take the data from the market, you are
Hmm.
going to take the feedback from the end user or customer, and
Hmm.
what are the challenges they are facing into the current type of project, current type of product. Like you are
Hmm.
using a mobile phone, so what kind of challenge you are facing? If you want to launch a new mobile phone, you are going to overcome all this, maybe you will try to overcome all those challenges, right?
Yes.
So Delphi technique is mostly is what? Feedback technique, we can say,
Okay.
based on the monitoring or based on the history of the historical
Yeah.
data.
It historical data.
Historical data. Mean or medium is usually taken as final.
Okay.
Now we are going to discuss about the configuration management. Okay, so management of source code, test script, third party software, hardware data, etc. That is what configuration management, you must be knowing, right? Configuration
Yeah.
management,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Supports the build process, which is important for delivery of a test release into the test environment. Allow us to keep the record of what is being tested to the underlying files and components that make it up. Let us take an example of when we report defects, we need to report them against something which is version control, right? So what is
Yes.
version control? Like some defect have occurred in version 1.1, and they are going to, after fixing the defect, the product will be 1.2, version will be 1.2, right?
Yes.
So if someone is going to ask on which version you got this defect, you can say that version 1.1.
1.1. Okay. Yeah.
Again, it is a historical, you can say that it's a kind of version controlling based on the defect.
Yeah.
Now we are going to discuss about the risk-based testing. See, risk-based testing is also, you can say that I have explained you in cloud disaster recovery. Hope you know,
Yes.
correct? So
Yeah.
basically in risk-based testing is what? We are going to test the scenario which is going to create the business harm. Clear?
Yeah.
I've given you the example, hope you remember. It is redirecting to Vodafone or Airtel site, right? If you are trying to,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that is what risk-based testing. Clear?
Yeah. Clear.
So basically, risk-based testing is what user risk to prioritize and emphasize the appropriate test during test execution. Usually done when there might not be sufficient time to test all functionality. Involves both migration, involves both mitigation testing to provide opportunities to reduce the likelihood of defects. It starts early in the project, identifying risk to system quality and using that knowledge of risk to guide testing planning. Clear?
Okay.
So now we are going to discuss exploratory testing. It is going to judgmental based testing of system.
Hmm.
Exploratory testing means what? I have not given you any requirement. I've given you one application, okay, and you are going to explore that. You're going to do your actions. Like I'm just going to give you the real-time example. Like Windows, whenever the Microsoft was trying to launch Windows 10, they have released one beta version of Windows 10, right?
Yes.
They have not given that kind of requirement document, and especially in all over the world, no one have time to read each and every functionality of Windows, right? Is it possible?
No.
Correct, because so many things we can install, millions types of software on Windows, right?
Yes.
So is it possible to test based on the requirement?
Mm, no. For Windows, it takes time actually.
Yeah, it's take, but if based on the if they are going to specify I need to test only this specific requirement, then we can test,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yeah.
But if they are not going to specify, they are going to give, okay, test each and every functionality of the window, then it is
Mm.
not. That's the reason some of the application, and we are going to test exploratory testing.
Okay.
Exploratory testing is what? We, a tester, is going to explore the system and trying to find out the defect.
Okay.
So when we are going to apply exploratory testing, when we don't have the clear requirement, we don't have the requirement document itself. Okay, there is no proper requirements.
Okay.
Okay, like I just now I've given you, right?
Yeah.
Windows beta version.
Yeah.
Microsoft haven't given any document to anyone. They told to the end user, just use this free of cost. Okay, if you come across any issues, please let me know. We will pay you for that. Correct?
Yes.
Test execution and test design happens in parallel. Okay, it means if you got any kind of defect and all, you can design the test case also and execution also.
Okay.
Now we are going to discuss about the defect management. Okay, the process of recognizing, investigating, taking action, and just a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so from defect management, tomorrow I will explain you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let me make you as a presenter and show me how much you have completed. Just I want to see how much
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry if you are not able to write any answers and all, I'm here to help you. Don't worry.
1 minute. Able to
How
see?
many you have completed? Yes.
All everything completed. I'll show you what are the things.
Okay, great. Great. Hold on. Okay, good.
Test. This one I have. I don't have exact wordings. I'm not to find out this. What is the difference between
What is
high
the
level
difference and low level test
and
plan?
test plan? Okay, this question.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
one more. What is CMM I written? SDLC I written. Waterfall I have taken. Okay, V model, Agile model, level methods of unit testing, component testing, integration system testing, acceptance, alpha, beta, and explain the method of testing, black box and white box. Okay, static test design technique, the static and dynamic differences, informal review and technical review, walkthrough and inspection, equivalence partitioning testing, boundary value analysis. So what is state transition table, decision table, use case, debugging, test objective. This is what is requirement in testing. This I didn't get exact thing. What is a
Okay,
viewpoint? Okay, viewpoint and test
viewpoint you
monitoring.
have already written now, one liner.
Yeah, already written. Test strategy to perform the view thing. Okay.
Yes.
What regression testing? So I mentioned retesting, regression and retesting. Test summary report. What is test for? Okay. What is COTS? That the day itself you given this one. What is driver? Test driver is to bottom up integration. Stub means like top to down.
Okay, good.
So this what is functional, what is non-functional, what is security, load bar, what is stress testing, reliability, user efficiency, portability, maintenance.
Almost only few are.
Yeah, three. I think. What are triggers? Triggers is I don't know then the testing point of view. So
No,
just
same triggers are always the same. It's like
uh,
we are triggering some jobs, right?
okay, okay,
Kind of automation process.
okay. Just what can I do? Triggers.
Yeah, I will tell you. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. So I
Triggers and
completed
all.
almost that day itself. So only the
Yeah,
two.
that day, Friday morning I lost. Then I
Okay,
was
okay,
okay. So right now also I'm with family. So I thought today you are the first person. Okay, after that I'm taking the class.
okay, okay.
Okay. So no issues. Tomorrow we will finish that testing stuff. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Only test defect management and all, and then I will give you a few more questions in testing.
Okay,
And
okay,
tomorrow we will wind up the testing stuff. Okay.
okay,
In
okay.
Agile, also we have already discussed waterfall, V model, and all this stuff in testing itself, right?
Yeah,
Correct. So there are
yeah.
few things only. So we will try to wind up in this week. Fine.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.